Today we're talking about 5 reasons why I chose to buy the LUMIX S5 Mark IIX. Now, as you may know, late last year, LUMIX announced the S5 Mark II, but then also announced that the Mark IIX will be on its way. And this is what I had to say about it as far as me buying it at the end of the year. I don't think I don't think I'll be updating. I don't think I'm going to purchase these at this time. Yeah, that aged well. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about the 5 reasons why I changed my mind and decided to buy the Mark IIX, starting first with the brand new support for BRAW as well as other beefy codecs. Now, as of today, LUMIX has announced that they will be supporting BRAW on the S5 Mark IIX as well as the original S5 Mark II, but that will require the unlock code that's about $200. In general, the Mark IIX does have some beefy codecs. You do get all intra and you also do get ProRes. The fact that you get ProRes out of this camera, and if you're recording in 1080p, you can actually record ProRes to an SD card like. Now, the write speeds on these codecs are also just blazing fast. Because of these beefier codecs, you do have the ability to record to an SSD with the Mark IIX. So BRAW and beefier codecs is my first reason. My next reason is going to be the blazing fast autofocus. LUMIX already has amazing cameras. They offer some things that no other camera system offers. And the one thing that has always evaded them is autofocus. And I'm happy to say that I finally feel like autofocus is something that they have a handle on. The phase detect autofocus has changed the game for LUMIX cameras, but it's not just the phase detect, it's the processor as well. Because the Sigma FP has phase detect, but it's not as reliable, it's not as confident as this camera. And so I really do appreciate how good this camera is when it comes to continuous autofocus in video. And so that is absolutely another reason why I picked up this camera. So the next reason why I decided to purchase the S5 Mark IIX is simply for resolutions and ratios. And I'll be more specific. I wanted to be kind of catchy, but resolutions and aspect ratios. If you're a content creator, you've heard all about 6K open gate and being able to film in vertical as well as horizontal at the same time. But with that in mind, it actually is going to become my camera for my BTS projects that I'm delivering social media content for my client, but I also want to use that content for my YouTube channel. And so that is very helpful in those scenarios. But the other reason why I appreciate this camera and LUMIX cameras in general is the ability to shoot in Cinema 4K or 4K DCI. That is an industry standard for 4K delivery, and the fact that it comes in the camera has always been a selling point for me. I love using 4K DCI, and the fact that I also have 4K DCI in ProRes and in all intra codecs, like, again, game changer for picking up the Mark IIX. The next reason is kind of a smaller reason, but is real-time LUT support. Being able to take a LUT and bake that LUT into the footage so that if you have a social media post or something that you just want to turn around real quick and use, then that is such a convenient feature to have. And then my 5th and final reason, I've actually probably had like 8 reasons by now, but it is what it is the overall build quality of this camera. This camera is really sturdy. It's super comfortable in the hand. Another nice part about the build of the camera is the fact that you do have fans, and they're pretty discreet fans that doesn't add a ton of bulk to the camera, but that is going to help the camera not overheat, especially in these higher codecs and these really fast write speeds. Overall, I do really like the way that this camera is built, and just as an added bonus, it's all black. Like, if there's ever a camera that's just screaming Anson, this is it. Enough said. And so those are 5 reasons why I ultimately changed my mind and purchased the LUMIX S5 Mark IIX. But while we're here, let's talk about if I think you should pick up this camera or who this camera might be good for. I really do think that if you are someone that's been looking at the LUMIX system and have been impressed with all the things that LUMIX cameras can offer, and you've been really just missing out on the autofocus aspect, that's where I would absolutely recommend to check out the LUMIX S5 Mark II II. And if you want to shoot RAW or all intro, ProRes, or SSD recording, the S5 Mark IIX. And so that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to give it a like. And if you're into the L mount alliance, whether it's a Sigma FP, FPL, or the LUMIX S5 Mark II or Mark IIX, definitely consider subscribing to the channel. As always, thank you for joining. Go and find your journey. Go embrace life. Peace. Quite possibly the best thing we've ever seen. Stop! Stop! God, I can't take him anywhere. Bless.